how much less American do you guys feel now than you did 10 years ago? That's the intent of the demoralization. You know, if we take a country that's filled with a certain kind of people, not race, but ideology, right? Yeah. And then we flood it with millions and millions and millions and millions of people who have a different ideology or a different worldview. Now we're talking about diluting the culture that makes America what America is. And they understand that the way you kill America is not by bombs and missiles and guns. It's by destroying the culture that America has always had. And then if we look at the migration coming across the border or the crime in most of the cities, we're entering destabilization now, or at least, you know, partially through that process. When we consider like the financial implications, the average cost of living, the inflation, the buying power of a dollar versus just 3 years ago, we're not far off from one or two things that will legitimately send our country down the tubes. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella. This is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to motherfucking reality. Guys, today we have Andy and DJ, who loves candy corn, cruise the motherfucking internet.
No, I don't fuck with candy corn, man. I don't. You will never catch me, ever.
One of these days, I'm gonna bring you to the dark side. All right, do your part. Andy and DJ,
cruise the motherfucking internet.
All right, that's what we're gonna do. That's what CTI stands for. Cruise the internet. We put topics on the screen. We talk about which ones are true, which ones are probably not true, and then we talk about how we, the people, can be the solution to the problem going on in the world. All right. Then we have Q&AF. That's where you submit questions and we answer them. You can submit your questions one of a couple different ways. The first way is,
guys, you can email those questions into askandy@andyfrisella.com.
Or you can go on YouTube under the Q&AF episodes, and you can leave your comment as a question, and we'll pick some from there as well. Other times we have Real Talk. Real Talk is just 5 to 20 minutes of me giving you some real talk. Other times we have Full Length. That's pretty self-explanatory. That's where somebody comes in on the show. We have a conversation. We also have 75 Hard Verses. This is where people who have completed 75 Hard come on the show. They talk about how they were before, how they are now, and how you could be like they are now with your shit together, as opposed to having your shit not together and being in your parents' basement making passive-aggressive comments on the internet to people that you don't know. So it's episode 208, and it's free in the audio feed. All right, I don't charge for it because I look at you guys and I look at the world and I say, holy shit, we all need some fucking help. All right, so I'm giving you the program for free. Go listen to it. It's called Live Hard, Stop Being a Piece of Shit. How about that? We have this thing called the fee. And the fee is this. You can either send DJ a bag of candy corn.
Bro, why would you say that?
Or you could tell someone about the show.
We're going to get so much candy corn, bro.
I know. And you're going to eat it. You're going to eat it. I'm going to make a liar out of you, bro.
No, bro. Listen, you could not pay me to eat candy corn.
Bro, candy corn is just the jelly bean of Halloween, bro.
No.
Why you hate it so much?
No. I feel like I don't know. Honestly, I don't know any. I mean, this may sound kind of racist, but I don't know any black people that actually eat candy corn.
Really?
I don't think it's a thing. I don't think it's a thing in the black community. No.
Do they eat jelly beans?
I don't know.
It's fair.
I don't know about that either.
I don't either.
Bro, candy corn,
I'm not black.
It's not that. Like,
it's not what?
It doesn't do anything for me.
You like Nickelback?
I don't mind saying I like Nickelback. Nickelback, okay. They got some hits.
Okay. Well, Nickelback and candy corn are very similar.
How so? Because
candy corn is like the Nickelback of candy.
No.
Right. It's everybody likes to hate Nickelback. Everybody says, "Oh, Nickelback sucks."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But you turn that shit on, motherfuckers are singing it.
They're jamming.
You put this candy corn, especially these pumpkin ones, in a bowl in a room with some human beings. Every single human being will eat at least one pumpkin.
No.
And then they'll smile afterwards. This is real.
Yeah.
It's science.
Oh.
I got it from Fauci.
You got it.
All right, anyway, enough about that. We do have a fee for the show. The fee is very simple. Please share the show. We put a lot of time and energy into this show. We try to help you guys. And we have this little thing. It's called Don't Be a Hoe.
Share the show.
All right. Now, we do have a very special show today. I've got a good friend of mine, Mr. Vincent Vargas, veteran, Hollywood actor, author who has written this new book, Borderline, based upon his 7 years as a Border Patrol agent. You might recognize him from the Mayans. He was just telling a very, very humorous story about how you killed someone on the Mayans and the internet started hating you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting that we live in these times, isn't it?
Oh man. Yeah.
So let me get this straight, because this is something that captures my curiosity. So you're on the show.
Yeah.
All right. And on the TV show, your character kills another character.
Assists in killing him. Yeah.
And the internet decides that they're going to hate you for it.
Oh, absolutely.
And give you death threats.
Oh, everything. Yeah. So you're a fat piece of shit. Fuck you. You fucking ruined my life. You fucking. The list goes on and on. Yeah.
Easy had a heart, man.
Yeah.
Shit, bro. I thought I got it bad.
Yeah,
Bro,
man.
the TSA dude on my way here said the same. Like, bro, why'd you have to do that shit to Easy? I'm like, homie, like, I'm an actor.
He's fine. You know, he's actually
Yeah,
alive.
like, yeah, he's good, bro. Yeah.
Dude, we can FaceTime him.
Yeah, fuck.
He's still here.
Easy. Tell him you're okay.
Everywhere I go, I get hit on with
shit.
that.
Now, we've been friends for, I don't know, what, probably 10 years?
Yep, something.
Yeah.
10 years.
I met you through Derek Wida.
Yep.
I think we ended up getting pretty drunk at my house.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've seen you, so it's
It
great to
has.
see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, bro, tell us a little bit about your book. Why'd you write it? What's going on with you right now? And
Yeah, man. Just been in the years of doing the whole show and Hollywood thing and watching what's happening with the border and watching kind of the scrutiny that's happened for Border Patrol agents. You know, it's fucking frustrating, man, watching all the shit talk that the agency of the career gets for people that don't even fucking understand what the career is.
yeah.
And so, I thought, like, I have a little bit of a platform. I know what my career was. And so what I did was pretty much write my career in this book to hopefully humanize the agency, humanize the career field, and explain it to motherfuckers who don't really get what it is day in and day out. Honestly, I believe that career is the first line of defense against any kind of terrorist organizations or anyone trying to come through the border. That's drugs, that's terrorists, that's the list goes on. And people fucking tend to think that the Border Patrol is the ones who make the fucking policies. Like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
They're the ones who, like, all the fucking shit that they want to blame on them, it's genuinely has nothing to do with them. And so I want to do my best to hopefully write this in a way that's digestible for the average person who doesn't understand the career field to read this and be like, oh, fuck, what they do is actually dope as fuck. They stop more drugs than any agency. They fucking save more lives than any other agency. Like, they should be someone that is held on a pedestal like, thank you for doing what you do.
Do you think that people now, normally I would say, bro, there's no way that people actually blame the actual Border Patrol agents for what's going on at the border. But after hearing the story that you just told me about somebody wanting to kill you because of something they watched on TV that was literal fiction, I guess that makes sense.
Dude.
I guess there probably is a lot of people who are looking at what's going on right now and they're saying the Border Patrol's not doing their job, not understanding that they're completely handcuffed by the administrations that they serve to do what is required by those administrations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that the truth?
Yeah, it's absolutely the truth. So, like, I don't care who you are. In the Border Patrol, someone else is paying that, right, signing those checks. The Border Patrol, it's just like a sheriff doesn't determine what the speed limit is. The state does, right, in the policies.
Yeah.
Border Patrol doesn't make any kind of policy changes or doesn't update them or change them. They just continue to follow what is put into law.
Yeah.
And that's all they do. So, like, when you see all this stuff happening right now, the Border Patrol is getting hit all day long. Like, oh, the Border Patrol. So there was a picture of the Border Patrol agent on video. They're cutting the barbed wire and they're helping them come across, right? What most people don't understand is the Border Patrol career field isn't an aggressive posture. It's actually more of a humanitarian posture. If you've already made way and land onto America, it is our job to make sure that they're safe and we apprehend them and bring them in for processing. That is the job. At no point do you see us pull out a gun and be like, hey, get back to Mexico. That's not the job. It's never going to be the job. If there's a threat where it deems I need to pull my rifle, my pistol at that time, then yes, that we're still law enforcement. But the first job we have is to apprehend these individuals. And once they've made landfall, once they've came to America, it is our job to keep them safe until we can get them through the process.
What is the responsibility, though? Like, for example, because I understand all this, right? But, like, when and this is going to be a little bit of a, connecting of dots here. So follow me. But like when I watched during 2020 how they tried, and this goes I'm talking about police officers, right?
Yeah.
And I watched how police officers were enforcing things that were unconstitutional, mandates that weren't laws, going to the beach, arresting someone on the beach because of a mask, because they weren't wearing a mask or they weren't supposed to be there. The paddleboarder guy, right? Like they flew out on the boat and they got this guy. Like, at what point do the men and women of our service sector, which I would consider like police, border patrol, right, military, like all of these guys, that the United States taxpayer is paying their salaries? At what point should these people take it upon themselves to say, this isn't right. I don't agree that this is happening. And I understand the point completely that, their jobs are on the line when they speak up, right? There's probably a whole lot of guys in the Border Patrol who are like, holy shit, we're being invaded, but they can't fucking do anything about it because the minute they do or say anything about it, they just get replaced by some other robots.
Absolutely.
So like, what is the solution here? Because I've always supported the police. Our one of our biggest charities that we donate to here at First Form is Backstoppers, which is a charity that takes care of fallen officers' families. And we're very passionate about it. In fact, we have an event here tomorrow night to honor a friend of ours who was killed in the line of duty, Blake Schneider, that we've done every year since that's happened. And I love these people. These people have, I respect them. They have one of the hardest jobs in the world. They get paid shit for what they do. But at what point in time, because we're dealing with people who are doing things that are un-American and they're like hurting our country. So at what point in time, or what's the solution for these men and women to like hold that line as opposed to just kind of go along because they're afraid for their own income? I mean, it's a difficult situation.
Yeah, it's tough because everyone wants to keep the lights on. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a career field they fought for. And then why did they join in the first place? Because they're very patriotic for this country.
Right.
Like, that is one of the most patriotic careers you can find in America.
For sure.
And it's hard because all they can do is what they're told of them to do. And so, like right now, I'll say this. The morale for the Border Patrol is the lowest it's ever been. They actually have the highest suicide rate per capita for law enforcement right now. And it's sad. And it's because like the demonizing, the politicizing of the career field that people are looking at them saying, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Or why are you not doing this? Both sides of the fence, right? You got the left and right giving them shit from no matter what. Yeah. And so it is tough. The one thing that they do their best of is be a deterrence. Be there and be a person on the line to hopefully deter. Go somewhere else. If you can do it, you're not doing it here. Mm-hmm. And a lot of guys are taking that position of being very active on the border, being actively putting their truck there, putting the lights on, like, you come here, you're getting stopped. The unfortunate part of it is that even that alone gives them like, well, let's go straight to him and say, hey, I'm here. And so it's like almost even if you're trying to do your job, what is the job of the Border Patrol? Is to stop people from entering to America outside of the port of entry, right? Mm-hmm. So anywhere outside of a port of entry, if you enter, their job is to try and stop that or deter that. Mm-hmm. They can sit there with the lights on in the vehicle as a deterrence, which usually used to work. And it doesn't happen anymore. So
because these people have learned that they're not going to be held back or sent back.
Right, because entering
there's no fear.
Exactly, because they've been incentivized. Right, and so now even you do your job to the most. If I did that in 2010, they would never come. They was like, that guy's going to stop me, he's going to arrest me, and there's going to be time in jail, right? Because that's what was in place at the time as the administration. This is during Obama, right? Who was very strict. His policies were very strict. People were going to jail, right? And so the fact that it is incentivized now, even if you're doing your job to the full capacity, it doesn't matter. And that's what's hard, because guys who still try and do the job, it's irrelevant. As hard as they want to do the job, there's no. I can't sit there.
How come all these guys, like the police, the Border Patrol? Because I know these guys, right? Like, and I agree with you. These are made up of veterans and people who care about the country. And most police officers and Border Patrol guys, they're not doing the job because of the pay. They're doing the job because they believe it's important and somebody needs to do it. Yeah. It's a job of service that they happen to get paid, in my opinion, probably, 25% of what they should get paid, right? In reality. But how come these guys don't get together and say, you know what? This is hurting our country. Yeah. This is not okay. Like how come that? Like what's stopping that from happening?
Well, I think is their pay. What's going to happen? Well, the government could easily just fire them and go find someone else to fill that role, right? And that's the sad truth of that. Like they're genuinely handcuffed.
Yeah.
And there's no someone who's patriotic does a job. Okay, well you don't want to do the job anymore. Fine, we'll find someone else who's not patriotic. Who just
But they can't do that if everybody acts together.
That's true. That's
you
true.
know, like what if the entire border patrol and the entire police force and the entire military said, "We're not doing any of this shit for these people."
Yeah.
What happens then? Those people are fucked, is what happens.
Yeah.
You know, and our last line of defense as citizens that we count on are these people.
Yes.
It's the police. Like in 2020, bro, when I saw the police doing some of the shit they were doing, like arresting people who were trying to keep their business open so they could eat, or arresting people who were in public places, it disgusted me, bro.
Absolutely.
It was disgusting. And I always felt like a sense of safety in this country, knowing that the veterans and the military community and the police, if it came down to it, they would stand up for us because but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it didn't happen the way that it should have happened. And it's still not happening the way that it's supposed to happen. And, you know, I think that that's more of the frustration that we're feeling. At least for me personally, maybe it's different for everybody else, but I don't blame the Border Patrol agents for the border being open. I blame the administration and the government and these old elite tyrants up in Washington, D.C. But where I do have a problem is that, like, they're not trying to stop this or you know what I'm saying? And maybe it's so overwhelming that it's impossible for them to even think. And it looks like it is that way. But at some point in time, we have to be real about that's our money. We pay you guys. Right. We pay you guys who are police officers. We pay you guys who are Border Patrol. We pay you guys who are military. And you guys look out for the interests of the government and these elite tyrants and not the interests of us people. And it's becoming a very dangerous situation to be in the middle of for those people, right?
That's kind of what's happening. Like, so if you watch social media right now and you watch like just the comments of everything, that's what you have. You have, you know, the liberal side of it, very liberal side would be talking more like, oh, let them in, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
Then the more conservative side is like, well, fucking Border Patrol's helping them. And it's like, man, it is really hard.
I haven't heard anybody say that.
I have a lot of guys on my thing say, why are they just letting them in? Why are they just letting? Well, it's because they're handcuffed. It is a really shitty situation because that's the pressure also Border Patrol feels. Border Patrol as a whole, they feel the same. They're like, trust me, dog, I want to do more, but if I step out of line, I lose my job, then my kids don't eat. And so that's a challenging thing to put them through. Yeah. That's the stress why there's so much suicide, why the morale is super low, why they want guys like you and other people to show them, just say, hey, I see you and I get it.
Yeah.
It's tough. And I think where now the best thing we have is that there's an election coming. Mm-hmm. That could potentially put someone in place that would actually see them, what they're doing, and allow them to do their fucking job. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what everyone's kind of waiting for. There is these kind of waves of the Border Patrol and how policies change and shift and stuff. And, you know, they're trying to ride out that wave because, man, look, I respect them so much and I know what it's like you live paycheck to paycheck as law enforcement, man.
Oh, yeah, and there's no doubt.
And so, like, if they don't
that's fucking bullshit, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they don't want to risk the fact of losing their house, their family, their kids. And so they're willing to sit through it.
They keep those people, just like they do with most citizens with the tax rates and the way they tax the companies and the citizens, they tax people right to a point where they make it like extremely hard to operate. Yeah. But you can operate. And that's how they pay these police officers and military and Border Patrol guys. They pay them just enough, but not a penny more to where they're like almost a slave to it. There's no room for...
Absolutely. The only reason I was ever able to walk away is that I had a successful business that was making me enough money, or else I would have been slave to that.
Yeah, and that's wrong, dude. It shouldn't be that way.
It's tough.
Our police officers, we should reallocate a lot of that tax money that these politicians steal, and a lot of the money that we send overseas to places like Ukraine or Africa, that should be reallocated towards the salaries of our police and Border Patrol and military.
First responders,
yeah, it should be, dude. It's real shit. But anyway. I mean, I feel for these guys too. Yeah. You know, I get it. I'm just playing devil's advocate because we have an invasion happening, man. Right. Like, did you see that story up in Pennsylvania where that dude, we covered it. that guy that killed he killed somebody and they went on a manhunt for 14 days.
Oh yeah.
The Vortex snagged him up, right?
Right.
My dudes.
Yeah. So, bro, but here's the thing: it took 30 dudes 2 weeks to. It took 30 guys 2 weeks to catch him.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've got 6 million of these dudes.
Yeah.
Like people, like I don't know, man. Maybe I'm hyper aware to it, or I'm alarmist to it. But to me, it sure does feel like, and it sure does look like they're sending their military capital to our country right now, and we're like, yeah, come on in, man, sit here, and like we're gonna look the other way, and we're gonna have a fucking knife in our throat.
Yeah, I think there's going to be definitely a repercussion that we got to look out for in the near future. What's crazy is that some people, I guess the administration doesn't see it the same way, right? They see it almost in this like, humanitarian. And I'm like, dude.
No, I don't think that. I think they sell it as humanitarian, but they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Communism, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
These are communists, bro. And they're trying to Americanize our United States of America with all of these migrants so that we have less of an identity to fight for. How much less American do you guys feel now than you did 10 years ago? Because I feel a lot less.
I think that the society feels that.
Yeah, and that's the intent of the demoralization. If we take a country that's filled with a certain kind of people, not race, but ideology, right? Yeah. And then we flood it with millions and millions and millions and millions of people who have a different ideology or a different worldview. Now we're talking about diluting the culture that makes America what America is. And everywhere I go, like just being real, it feels less American than it has at any point in my life.
Yeah, you see that in the masses with just the American flag. We were talking about it at lunch, is that just the American flag now to some people is like is a threat.
Yeah.
And like, wait, no, hold on. That's actually that American flag should constitute everything that America stands for. Every color, every race, every culture. It is the sign of freedom. And then when you turn it into like, oh no, that's a sign of racism, you're like, who the fuck is starting this rumor?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
well, those are people that have an agenda, dude. It's not just an accident. These aren't just people who are, hyper left or progressive. These are communists who legitimately want to kill America, and they understand that the way you kill America is not by bombs and missiles and guns. It's by destroying the culture that America has always had.
Yeah.
And so what it's demoralization, and the next step is destabilization, and then the next step is literal conquering. And we've already worked through demoralization, and we all just admitted, the three of us,
we're there,
that we feel less American than we did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then if we look at the migration coming across the border, or the crime in most of the cities, right? Or the poverty that's happening, or the homeless situation that's happening at scale at some of these Democrat states, we're entering destabilization now, or at least, partially through that process, because when we consider like the financial implications, the average cost of living, the inflation, the buying power of a dollar versus just 3 years ago, we're not far off from one or two things that will legitimately send our country down the tubes.
Yeah.
And so, when I look at this, I don't look at it any other way. Like I decided a long time ago that I believe that this was a communist insurgency subversion that is very real, and we're in the late stages of it. And it's a communist revolution. When they write about what's going on 100 years from now, they're going to either say it was an attempted communist revolution or it was a successful communist revolution. And we're in the middle of it. And they're not going to come out and say, yeah, guess what? We're installing communism in the United States.
Yeah.
But if you take away the name communism and you look at all of the elements that are happening, it very clearly is the same thing. And so when I look at the border situation, most people may look at the Border Patrol and say, well, the Border Patrol is doing a bad job. I never think that. That's not what I think. What I do think is, why aren't the Border Patrol and the police and the military standing up for this country like they took an oath to? But I don't blame them for being in the situation. I blame our government, which I think is, but I don't know, like that's me, I don't think most people are, I think most people still aren't seeing it the way I see it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are still seeing it surface level. And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we have an election and a new leader actually gets elected, and things change. But I actually believe the election is so compromised. I don't think there's any chance that anybody but Biden's going to be president. I don't think Donald Trump, because listen, he's going to be the candidate. And he's gaining more and more and more steam. He's 10 points ahead of Biden. He was never, ever, ever ahead of Biden in the same exact poll. He's 10 points ahead now. Yeah. And I still think they're going to fucking cheat the election.
Oh, 100%.
And I think they're going to put this dude back in, and Americans are going to have a real gut check moment.
Yeah.
Like, are we going to tolerate that? Because this is what's happened in these communist countries like Venezuela and El Salvador and these other places where there was along the lines. I mean, bro, it just happened in Brazil. It just happened in Brazil with Bolsonaro and Luna. Okay, Bolsonaro has 2 million people at his rallies. Luna has 0. All right. And then Luna wins the election. And then they have a riot, the same fucking kind of thing they had here. And now instead of January 6th, it's January 8th.
Right.
It's the exact same play they're running in fucking Brazil that they're running here in the United States right now. And so on this next election, I think a lot of people are looking right now and they're saying, yeah, Trump's going to win because he's 10 points ahead and, everybody's behind him. I mean, bro, even the black inner city voters who were like Trump are now coming around. If you go on a World Star post and they talk about Trump, bro, it's like all pro Trump. Yeah. Okay. So all of these people are now looking at this guy and they're saying, all right, he's coming back. But what happens if he doesn't? Yeah. What happens if they flat out steal the election right in our faces? Which, by the way, that's the ultimate demoralization.
Mm-hmm. Doing it right in your face.
Yes,
and, doing that
and that's what they've been doing.
Yep.
That's why Biden goes up on TV and smirks at everything he does. Like, these guys know that they're doing this stuff right in our faces and there's nothing that's going to happen to them. Yep. And so my opinion is that over the course of the next year and a half, Trump is going to continue to gain momentum, because people have decided that they don't care what he's done. Yeah. They don't care if they persecute him. They don't care if they bring him into court. They don't care if whatever they say, they don't care. Yeah. Whatever they say, they're going to assume was a lie, and it's going to add power to him, no matter what, no matter if it's true or a lie.
Yeah.
And if he's that far ahead in the election cycle and then he loses, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's ultimate demoralization. And dude, we're going to have a real gut check as American citizens, especially the men, as to what the fuck we are actually made of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, to your point, there's some interesting stuff going on. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, right? But this past Tuesday, Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House, he's out, right? And that mostly in thanks to the work that Matt Gaetz has been doing. But here's the thing. A couple of people have been putting their names in the hat for this new.
More than a couple,
right? And so, like, one of those, for example, Jim Jordan, right? Mm-hmm. He's dropped his name in there. Steve Scalise, he's dropped his name in there. But out of left field.
It's not out of left field.
Donald Trump's in the running, right? And and they've been talking about it. So and this is actually an MSNBC article.
He is expected to announce that he is putting his name in it officially on Tuesday.
He is. Yeah. He is. And so does this is MSNBC article reading. Does Donald Trump want to be Speaker of the House? It's a question that has emerged in the chaotic afterglow of a collection of House conservatives seceding and ousting House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. So far, the former president has done little to downplay the political intrigue. So let's watch this video. I got this clip. This is from when he left the court building and he addressed the news cameras. Let's see what he had to say real quick.
President should be Speaker.
A lot of people have been calling me about Speaker. All I can say is we'll do whatever's best for the country and for the Republican Party. We have some great people. I just want to say we have some great people.
Would you take the job?
A lot of people have asked me about it. I'm focused. We're leading. I don't know you. I'm sure you don't read too much in the papers, but we're leading by like 50 points for president. My focus is totally on that. If I can help them during the process, I would do it. But we have some great people in the Republican Party that could do a great job as Speaker.
Well, what about
Margaret Taylor Greene called for you to be Speaker yesterday.
Yeah, I think she's a wonderful woman, Marjorie, and a lot of other people are involved with that too. I'll do whatever it is to help, but my total focus is being president and, quite honestly, making America great again.
Yeah, so then even the White House responded, right? So KGB, she was asked the same
That's
question.
what her name should be.
It should be KGB.
KGB.
Yeah, you know, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what she had to say from the White House.
In any of the meetings about this in the last 24 hours, has anybody in the West Wing heard anybody talking about the possibility of Speaker Trump?
This is something for House Republicans to figure out. This is something for them to fix. We're not going to get involved in the speakership. We don't care who is in the race or who is out the race. That is not for us to figure out. The president doesn't have a vote. No one here has a vote. They have to figure this out.
Tell me you're nervous and scared shitless without telling me you're nervous and scared shitless.
Bro, that was crazy how
Right?
she responded to that, considering all the clips that we've watched her respond.
Bro,
Like, bro,
she's nervous as
no, that was fear.
100%.
Not only did the reason she did not say anything with her normal smart ass mouth is because she's afraid he might get it.
Well, dude, what the Speaker of House will give him, bro? Like, that's third in line of succession. They already got open indictments or open impeachment inquiries going on against Biden, bro. It would not be very difficult to fucking clean house. That's the easy route into the fucking presidency. Very easy out. And then think about it. They give him that would give him 5 years if he ran for continued his run for election. Now you got 5 years.
Wow.
It's a wild.
I don't
it's a
know.
wild
It
thing.
seems like way far outside the realm of reality. But this has been tossed around over and over and over again
for years.
And
at first it seemed kind of far fetched, but now like, dude, this is a real possibility. It's a real possibility.
I thought it was crazy to hear that they're starting to build the walls again. Right.
well, nobody wants to talk about that.
Right.
Like, bro, that whole thing there.
I got that.
You got that?
Oh hell yeah! I got
All right,
that.
we'll wait to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a lot to say about that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
not insane. I'm glad they're doing it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like,
the hypocrisy.
yeah, definitely.
It's wild.
Look, man, here's the thing. People don't understand the structure, right? If he becomes Speaker of the House, they could impeach Biden and potentially impeach Kamala right after him, and then he would be president.
That's what I'm saying. Give him
I
5
know
years.
that, but what I'm saying is there's people listening that argue with me over my opinions about politics, but love my business advice, and then, love my politics and hate my business advice. Like, there's very few people out here that actually understand how this works.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
There's a lot of people here that think that Vincent actually killed a guy on TV. Okay, so I have to explain it.
Yeah.
Right?
Explain it to me because I'm not too clear about
So,
the Speaker of
so
the
how
House
this works
situation.
is
Very powerful position.
if Trump is voted Speaker of the House by Congress, which they have the power to do, like if all the Republicans who are members of Congress voted for Trump to become Speaker of the House, he would become Speaker of the House. And there's nothing the Democrats can do because they don't have enough votes to stop it.
Not only that, there's no requirements that you actually have to be a congressperson.
You don't have to be a member of government
to become.
Okay, you could
the
be
Speaker of the House.
they could elect me.
Yeah.
All right. So if they do that, let's just say they did that. Trump then presides over Congress, the House of Representatives. All right. They can then impeach Biden, and if they then impeach Kamala, he's the third in line to become president.
Jesus.
Yes. So
And so the House is like, I mean, dude, like, so the checks and balances of our government, the House, they're a position. They have some, I mean, it's an extremely powerful position, right?
Yeah.
Like all of the investigative committees, that's all in the House of Representatives. So there's a lot of power and sway. We already have the Senate for the most part. So it's like, it'd be like,
That's
it's a
interesting, man.
very, very realistic situation.
well, it's also one way to get around what I was just saying before, which is the gut check moment that's going to come.
Right. Yeah.
Because look, dude, and I say this not because I want it to happen, because it's real. If it is very clear that this man is, won the vote and won the people over, and they steal the election, it's going to require violence.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to require violence. And all these Border Patrol people and all these police officers and all the veterans, they're all going to have to decide what team they're on.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to, and that is the precipice point of violence that I see in the near future. When countries who have dealt with this sort of
Tyranny.
tyranny or attempted coup, because that's what this is. Okay, if
It
it
was
comes
a successful coup.
well, I think the coup actually happened in the 60s. But the point is, I believe personally that the election was already highly manipulated. Just like it was, I mean, if you watched the Arizona election, that just confirmed what happened. So, and we can argue that all day. Like, we can argue that Trump did 30 rallies with 30 days into the election where he had no less than 75,000 people at each rally, and Biden was in his basement smiling because they knew that he was going to win. All right? We can argue this all day. But my personal belief is that it was already stolen. And that's the belief of a lot of people. A lot of people feel that way. All right? Because every fucking person they know voted for him. Like, every single person that I know, with the exception of like a few like far left weird ass motherfuckers that I happen to be friends with, and y'all are still weird. I love you, but you're weird as fuck. And you should probably listen to your cousin Andy a little bit. All right? Real talk. But the point is that everybody fucking voted for him the first time, with the exception of the Hollywood elite types or the far left progressive communist blue hair people. And even so, the people who didn't vote for him, who voted for Biden, are now shifting because they're like, holy shit, look at what's going on. This is crazy. And they're waking up at mass. And so if all these people are looking around and we're like, oh yeah, that's our guy, that's our guy, that's our guy, and they steal it again, this is where those other countries like Venezuela and El Salvador failed. And this is the point of contention where they legitimately failed as citizens to defend their own country against this communist movement. And so in my opinion, I believe that if the election is blatantly stolen, it's going to be a time to decide for American men and American veterans and police and military, do you believe in American freedom, or are you willing to let communists take over? And that's going to require violence.
Yeah.
And bro, I'm all about cultural revolution, because without a cultural revolution, we will never have American culture. That needs to be strengthened. That, you know, when we talked about not feeling less American, the reason we feel less American is because when you and I were growing up, we're the same age. We were taught, you know, that people who won in life and did good things and built things, those were people were like celebrated. Yeah. And now it's the opposite, right? And so we have this cultural ideology of no excuses, badass American, fuck you if you don't like it, right? And it's been replaced with, I'm a victim, I'm sick, I'm tired, I don't want to work, give me your shit. It's a totally different mentality. And so that ideology difference is massive. And if we don't restore that culture, it won't exist anyway. But there is going to be a point in time that comes, in my opinion, where violence is highly likely. And if it's not executed, there's a good chance that we go the way of Venezuela or El Salvador or one of these other countries where they just go total communist. You know, and El Salvador's back on the right track again because they got somebody in who was willing to fucking clean house. The only thing that gives me hope is they seem to be real afraid of the elections because of the way they're persecuting this man politically. But it's going to be an interesting time, dude. And like, I'm just going to be real. Like, I think it's a good idea for any of you guys who are patriots, like for real, to like get your shit together, man. Because like, I don't think they're going to not steal the election. I think they're going to steal it right in front of our fucking faces. And I think there's going to be problems. Yeah. And I think these millions and millions and millions of fucking migrants coming across the border have the potential to be militarized against us, the people, in defense of them. So
they're already doing it, bro. Handing out badges in Illinois.
Huh?
They're already doing that.
What do you mean?
They're letting illegal migrants be police officers in Illinois.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh,
yeah.
Real shit.
Carry weapons and arrest American citizens.
Oh.
They just passed the law. Pritzker passed it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the governor over there in Illinois. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So what's the next step? They're already asking you to pull them into your homes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next step is going to be they're going to fucking go on the emergency alert. They just alerted yesterday and say, what else did they do? Oh, you might have this in the topics, but they just categorized MAGA as an extremist group.
Oh, I see.
Damn it,
Did you have that?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about it. But the point is, these people will come on the alert system and they'll say, we're under attack by rebels. We're under attack by people who want to tear our country down. And if you believe in America, you've got to pick up arms and defend it. And it's going to be all these migrants, bro.
Yeah, because what do they also give all these migrants? They gave them what? Phones,
money, more benefits than they're giving our own veterans who have served. I mean, how many veterans do you know personally, not with names, but that are struggling, that have been struggling, that are struggling far more than they ever should struggle for what they've given to this country.
Absolutely.
Right?
And
It's
struggle
wrong.
to get the benefits that they deserve.
Bro, dude, you got to fight for them. And then you got these dudes coming across being handed a stack of cash and a cell phone, say, see you in 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, go rape our women. Like, bro, it's fucking real shit. It's happening.
It's real shit, man. But guys, let's get into this cruise. So remember, if you want to see any of these pictures, articles, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. You can find them there. If you're watching on YouTube, check down in the description below, and you can find the links.
Legitimate president, I'm going to give you the same level of respect that you gave to President Obama, and that is absolutely no respect at all. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey!
Well, let's fucking be honest. Obama didn't deserve any respect. Obama was actually a very hopeful candidate. When Obama got inaugurated in 2008, when they actually announced that he won the election and he was in Chicago and it was all over TV, bro, I even getting goosebumps about how I felt then. Like, I didn't vote for him. But like, dude, like I felt very hopeful for America. I said, bro, this is great. Like, it's our first black president. It's going to unify people. Like this, if this guy comes in and says what he's actually about, it's going to be amazing. And what'd he do?
Nothing.
He came in for 8 years and fucked our shit up. And now he's still fucking it up with this old bag of shit, Joe Biden. Okay. So like, let's be real. Obama started with a very high level of respect and he quickly deteriorated. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump. And most American citizens feel that way.
Yeah, 100%. But with all of this going on, so I mean, this clip right here.
You remember that, bro? When he got elected?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like a good unifying feel for a lot of United States.
Dude, I felt that way too. And I remember I was dating a girl at the time who was very pro-Obama.
Yeah.
And I was not.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, I wasn't, it was a different time then too, dude.
Yeah,
like,
it
could you
was, man.
imagine like dating one of these fucking people now?
Oh, fuck.
Holy shit, bro.
Everything's weaponized.
Must have
now.
been hard times for me.
They be trying to,
Look, all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is we didn't hate each other. I just looked over and I said, hey, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Like, this looks good. It sounds good. It feels good. I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. But I was right. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's real shit, man.
You don't remember, dude, because you were pretty young. Do you
No,
remember?
I remember it.
Do you?
Absolutely.
How old were you when that
I was in
happened?
8th grade.
Yeah. I mean, were you hopeful?
No, I mean, dude, I thought it was cool, and like,
Yeah.
even just seeing the videos, like, I mean, bro, it was millions of fucking people out.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, it's a black president. I can be black. You know, I'm gonna be president one day.
I didn't feel like
I
that
didn't
was
take it that way.
Yeah, but
No,
DJ,
but
I didn't
I'm
even.
like, okay,
I don't
this
even
is pretty
feel like that
fucking
was
cool.
the tone. I think there was
Yeah.
way less racial contention then than there
100%.
was now.
Absolutely, bro.
Like,
Absolutely.
dude, and young people don't like these 20-year-old kids. They don't get that.
Yeah.
No.
Like back in 2005, bro, everybody's walking around cool.
Yeah.
Like we're making jokes about each other. We're having fun. We're celebrating each other's cultures. Like black dudes are going to country shows. White dudes are going to rap shows. We're all fucking hanging out. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, Eminem.
Yeah, bro, nobody. Yeah. But dude, real talk. Like these young kids they weren't around during that time, so they don't understand. You're trying to solve a problem that's already been fucking solved,
They
bro.
don't have the context of the time before.
I don't know,
have
man.
it. Yeah, but I want to bring up something that's really, really crazy, man. And Andy, you kind of alluded to it, but we got to talk about it. So Newsweek magazine, they did this exclusive report. And this headline reads, exclusive, Donald Trump followers targeted by FBI as 2024 election nears. This is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's an absolute, and like, listen, guys, like we've all joked about it, right? Like I got my FBI agent who targets us. I'll talk to him. He's cool. You know, but we always joke about it. Like, and this is real. Like, this is a real thing that they are no longer hiding, right? So if you associate
This is intimidation too.
100%.
They're just leaking the truth, bro.
That's all it is.
So this has been going on for a long time, but they're leaking the truth because they want people to be afraid to support Donald Trump.
Yep.
That's what this is about.
100%.
This is no different than whenever during 2021 when they came out. Remember we were up at Ian Smith's gym and it was like August 2021, I think. And they were having that event. And that was the first time they released a domestic terrorism watch list.
Yeah.
Remember that? We were there, and all of us, because like that was where all of them were that day. Like,
It was a mass gathering.
Yeah, like we were all there. We were all kind of secretly like, dude, like, are they coming for us now? Like,
Yeah,
what the
right.
fuck? Like, we got a little nervous, right? But a couple of days went by, and we're like, you know what? These people. But like, dude, what this is because the silent majority strategy isn't going to work anymore, right? The first time they tried to make everybody feel like it was virtuous to stay silent. That's not going to work anymore. People have realized that they fucked themselves by doing that. So now people are getting loud, and you even have the black communities coming out in support of Donald Trump, which, dude, like, I love seeing that. But what I believe this is this is like, hey, you better not publicly say you support Trump. It's a way for them to control the energy.
Yeah.
That's how I view it.
And dude, it's a dangerous thing too, because what people have to understand, the moment that they say something qualifies as a domestic terrorist, the amount of resources that open up when it comes to FISA warrants and all, like, I mean, dude, it's insane. And just by labeling this as domestic terrorist, right? If you follow the amount of invasion into your life that you will be completely unaware of, which it's already at a mass scale, but this allows them to take it 100,000 steps further. Like, it's dangerous.
Yeah, the other scary part is that people that are easily swayed and easily convinced read that and like, oh shit, is that, and they believe that. It's not like they don't have a thought process, right? It's all these people that read the title and believe everything. That now is like going to confirm their own beliefs that were now concreted to them. And it's like people like, I wouldn't say my mother per se, but people in that age demographic who just like reads the headline and goes, oh shoot, now they're gonna believe it. It's part of that psychological operations, right, that they do.
Yeah, bro, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that. Like, a lot of people are still in that place where if they read a headline and it comes from Newsweek or it comes from MSM, that supersedes all the other headlines, and it's actually the opposite.
Right. Their era was the news was real, and now it's not.
And there's a reasonable expectation by them and everybody else that what Newsweek or what the New York Times or the New York Post or the Washington Post or any of these places, CNN, Fox, they're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
And they've become a propaganda machine versus an actual news. But when we were growing up, bro, it wasn't like this. Right. And if it was, we didn't notice it.
Right.
Like, now it's overtly, like, right in our faces. And there's a lot of people, man, who still haven't unplugged themselves to realize that, like, this isn't the news anymore.
Right.
This is an agenda that you are being fed. And that's a really good point.
Yeah,
I forget that a lot of
times. It took a long time for me to convince my dad and mom, like, hey, stop reading these, right? Stop doing that. And
it's like reading the Inquirer when we were a kid.
Exactly. When you're young, you know it's bullshit. Like, they still don't. And you have to tell them, like, stop. Like really start educating on all these topics. Start making your own decisions, right? Like, don't do that. You know, because
just consider, I think a good way to interpret most of the MSM, or when it comes to Trump, especially because they hate him so much, is that literally almost everything they say about the dude ends up being the opposite.
Right.
And so, like, when we interpret, and by the way, that's no like plug on Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump doesn't do himself any favors by the way that he carries himself. You know, like if Donald Trump had came out and for 4 years and, you know, instead of like jousting with the media, presented himself with a message of unity, like, hey, instead of saying, whoever, Jake Tapper, you're a piece of shit, like you're fat, you're this, like instead of that shit, had he come out and said, now guys, I know that there's a lot of buzz around these policy decisions. Let me take a minute to explain them to you. This is why I decided this. I decided this because I think it's going to bring us all together so that we can move forward as this. Yeah. And he actually like took the time to like be a real leader in that way. Because I think his policies, everybody agrees, times were better. Right. But you know, he fucks himself with his communication a lot of times.
Yeah, the lack of professionalism was
I think it's funny. So like we have all of these misunderstandings. I'm no stranger to him. I understand. So like when I see Trump come out on the stage and he just starts ripping on these fucking media outlets, I'm like, get him.
Yeah.
I love it. And I laugh at it. I think it's funny. But I can also detach myself from that because I experienced that.
Right.
To understand how that comes across to someone who's not experienced that.
Yeah, it's the first time in our time that we've seen a president kind of step outside of the professionalism side of it and just kind of address people as humans. And I think it threw a lot of people off, and that's why he had so much disdain towards him because people were like, "That's not how a president should act." Like, yeah, I get it, but like, I mean, a lot of the shit he said was like on point.
No,
right?
it's
that was like
it's all on point. It was just
I know, but my point was like you're just sitting there like, but you know, it's one of those things. And I do want to have a president that has a little bit more tact in his.
Well, I think the office of the president, it's important to have that because we have to understand that there's people that are 100 listening to you. There's people that are 80. There's people that are 60.
Other countries.
There's people that are 40. There's other countries. And these people all have different worldviews. So like, this is why, like, as much as I joke about being president, like I like to joke about it all the time, I wouldn't make a good president because I would go up there and tell you to suck on my fucking balls. Okay. Like real talk. I can't help it. It's who I am. Now I'd be a great strategic guy. Yeah. I'd be a great personality on the internet, but like being an actual president, I probably have the same problem that Trump has. Okay. No, I'm just being honest, man. It's just real shit. So, but like, I loved it. Like, I love the way he is. Cause I'm like, dude, this guy's awesome. Like, dude, I would love to hang out with him and fucking talk shit. And like, I bet we would roast each other. It'd be fucking hilarious.
Andy, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
All right.
Bro. And I met his family too. And they're fucking great people. They're great people, dude. And, so I get it and I like him, but I also understand why people don't like that. And I think it's a strategic mistake that he's been making, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Maybe not though. Like the guy is so hyper intelligent. I mean, he might see a bunch of shit that I'm not even seeing. I mean, the guy's twice as old with all this experience. I mean, he might have this shit all figured out. We don't know shit. I'm just saying that's my take.
Yeah.
I love what he says. I love what he does. I think it's hilarious, but I understand why, like, you know, maybe your mom might not. Right.
Yeah. My mom goes, I don't like it.
Yeah, right.
All right, Ma.
Or like that lady from last night that we had to do. Like,
oh, Jesus Christ. That lady.
That's a story for after the show.
Dude. Yeah, well, guys, jumping on this conversation, let us know what you guys think down in the comments. # coming for you. Let us know what you guys think. So with that being said, let's keep this cruise moving.
say come and get it.
Come and get it.
That's what I say.
Yeah, come and get it then.
Bro, I'm looking at this like the net like I'm looking at this next year and a half kind of like this could be it. No, I'm being serious. Like I'm driving all my nice shit.
Yeah.
I'm wearing all my nice shit. I'm fucking going out and eating the nicest shit. Well, let's be real. I did that anyway.
Yes.
But the truth is, like, I'm starting to think, like, all right, man, this could be it. It's making me appreciate everything else a little bit more.
It's definitely a scary time. And then
Yeah.
having kids, I'm always like, oh, did I up and bring them into this crazy shit? You know what I mean? Like, I think
It's
of that
funny.
all the time.
It's funny that you say
got a
that.
little Army platoon over there, though.
I do, and hopefully they can load mags when I need it. You know
It's
what I'm
funny
saying?
that you say that because I made a comment on the show just the other day, basically saying, like, dude, if you're 55 or 60 and older, like, you guys fucking failed. Your generation failed. And so many people got pissed off about it.
Oh, you got some heat.
But you know what, bro? Here's the thing. That's no different than me saying, well, my generation has failed by allowing this discussion of mutilation of genitals to happen to grade schoolers. Like, I should have been more vocal 5 or 10 years ago about when this shit started to come around, and I wasn't. And so that's not an attack on an individual. I'm sure that a lot of you guys that listen to this show, you did exactly what you were supposed to do. But I'm saying, as a people, as a group, as a team, we have failed. And not only has your generation failed, but my generation has failed too. So I have responsibility in that as well. So those of you that fucking, hated me because I said that, that's what I'm communicating. Like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm doing it perfect, because I'm saying we f***ed up.
Yeah.
And that's something that we have to address before we can correct it.
Right.
Right? And that's
Right.
all I'm saying.
Oh, that's real shit, man.
Yeah.
But guys, before
But you guys did fuck up. Let's be real.
guys, before we get to our second headline, we're gonna take a time. We're gonna cruise some comments.
All right.
All right. So let's
Oh,
cruise
fuck.
comments.
I wonder if I got any death threats for
Yeah, we shall see. So this comment is coming from at definitely not my dot. Shit's funny, but DJ ain't. You got as many trophies as Biden has accomplishments in his entire political career.
This guy's hilarious.
Yeah, give this guy a trophy.
No, that ain't. It says definitely not Madot.
But that I will f you up, bro.
That's not Madot. It says it right there. It says not Madot.
Right.
Definitely not him.
Right. Yeah.
That guy's funny though, whoever he is.
Yeah.
If not Madot was here, I'd give him a trophy. But I don't see him anywhere.
Well, f you, not my dot. All right. Yeah, so guys, appreciate you guys commenting, guys. Use that comment section, engage.
Oh my God.
Don't forget to like, share.
I'm gonna start picking up.
Oh, this was a real person.
We just photoshopped him.
Oh, you okay?
Well, definitely
You're
not.
an asshole.
Definitely not Madot gets trophy.
I like the original name actually. At Buck Nasty Back.
Well, that's reflective of our listeners.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
we're
it.
the deplorables over here.
Guys, headline number two. Headline number 2 reads: Biden admin waives federal laws to allow border wall construction in Texas. Another NBC article.
Yeah.
All right, which
I thought it was racist.
it was racist.
I thought they were putting people in cages.
They were.
It's crazy. I'll speak a little bit on like, it's crazy that people would argue the wall when they don't understand how valuable the wall can be, right? So like, I'll just put it into perspective. You got 20,000 Border Patrol agents, just about, right? But you have 3 shifts of Border Patrol agents, and so you got your morning shift, mid shift, and night shift, right? Then you have people on admin. So you at all times maybe have somewhere around 3,500 guarding our borders. That's all the way from north.
3,500.
Yeah.
That's not enough.
No, it's
Yeah.
not at all. So you have about, so just one sector, say Eagle Pass, you got about maybe 20 people on a shift spread out through
Yeah.
200 something miles, right?
Yeah.
And so why the border was valuable is because what it did is at least funnel traffic to go to areas that are probably easier access, right? Like the path of least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And so it helps in some of these areas that are, dude, sometimes I'm 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours from my actual station. That's how deep you have to drive just to get to your point. And it's only you and maybe one other dude. So if you have bodies coming across and it's like 20 of them, it's like, I'm not going to apprehend 20 dudes alone in the middle of the night. I'm going to call the homie.
There's nothing you can do.
Right. It's such a hard thing. So
Yeah.
when you add a wall, at least it creates the funnel effect to areas that you can actually kind of guard better. So there's value to it. If you want to help with that, the wall was important. And so when they stopped construction on the wall, it was kind of like confusing for a lot of the agents too. Like, dude, this shit makes it hard.
Well, yeah, because they're assuming that the people that they work for have the interests of this country at heart, and they do not.
Yeah, it was.
That's a
odd.
mistake they're making.
It was
That's
tough,
a mistake
man.
everybody's making.
Yeah.
Bro, in my America, bro, we have a wall with like literally like a catwalk on the top, like just like prison, bro. Like dudes with guns. Like I'd have some of them automatic, like heat censored, like miniguns, that rotate around like the shit they put on a ship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That shoots a missile out.
Yeah, I know.
Bro, they would be heat activated. It would be so fierce that people wouldn't come within range of the wall. Like we would own the 2 miles into the wall, like because it would be so hardcore. That's what we would do. And like, it would only take a day of that operating before people would stop.
No comment.
I'm just saying. It would only take a day. It would be over. There would be nobody coming here. I'm all for people coming here. Like this guy came here. He comes here from Bosnia, does all the classes, does all the paperwork, does everything the right way. I'm all for that. But what I'm not for is being invaded by migrants. By the way, I'm not talking about people from Mexico. I'm talking about the Chinese military age males. I'm talking about the African males. I'm talking about the people from these countries that are 50 countries away from us or on the other side of the planet that are being shipped here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I think the process for actual Mexicans to come to America should be expedited because our cultures are aligned. We all, you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
It's a good thing. So, I mean, I just want to clarify that. But like, dude, if, I don't know. Like
my thing on this border
the wall, bro, though, well, I mean, if you have no comment, what do you think? What's your opinion?
No, I think, like I said earlier, I think the wall was valuable. I think the wall.
No, it's very valuable.
Right?
Why wouldn't we have a strong, why wouldn't we have that?
It helps the lack of individuals we have actually doing the job.
Well, why would we have any gaps in it?
Right, I don't understand it either. The argument that was crazy was when Trump said it, like in like, I don't even give a shit, but when Trump said it and people were arguing, it was like the money. It's like, that's a crazy argument that the money, and why I think it's crazy is that what we're spending currently right now on I'll give you just one example. There's one processing center in Eagle Pass, Texas currently right now that spends $24 million a day processing illegal immigrants, right? And when you process them, someone comes across, and just to understand the process, they come across to get apprehended to come in. We do fingerprints, we do identify their right, we do all the things you would do almost in going into prison. Yeah. So there's a database of everyone that comes across that we actually apprehend, and for the most part, they're just walking up to us anyway, so it's an apprehension. And so $24 million a day, and this is only one processing center. There's probably about 5 or 6 of them. And so just the money alone, just to maintain that, is crazy. And then you talk about how much it would have cost to do the wall. Like, shit, we could have built that wall many times over, and which would actually have helped the influx not to be so bad. So it was a crazy argument.
I think the amount, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, you guys could Google this up, but I think the amount to finish the wall was like $5 billion.
Right, and so
we sent over $100 billion to Ukraine.
Well, not even that. That one processing center alone, if you do the math on that one, it comes out to something like $8 billion, something like that. So like you've already paid the wall once. In 1 year, and you would have actually deterred a good amount just on the fact that it just makes it more challenging.
The only logical conclusion here is that they want those people here.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing. I think this is actually a sign when they're changing tactics on this and the hypocrisy alone, there's something deeper. And I think that with them changing, completely doing a 180 on this topic, how I see this is that the people that they wanted in this country to destroy it are already here. Like, the damage is done. So you can close the border wall. Now all you're doing is just locking us in. You know what I'm saying? I think the damage is already done.
That's an excellent point, man.
It's already done.
I don't know that I can disagree with that. Like, they could be saying, okay, we have enough of these people here to do what we needed to do.
Yeah, let's lock it down now.
Yeah.
Then
pull some of our voter base back because we'll appear to be handling the problem. It's going to be interesting to hear what all these Democrats who, at Thanksgiving dinner are going to have to say about, the wall being racist. And is the wall still racist?
Yeah, right.
Is the wall still racist? Is it still kids in cages? Is AOC still going to the border to cry for a photo op?
Yeah, photo opping.
Okay,
yeah.
Is that or is that all done? Are we moving on to something else now? Like, at what point in time are the American citizens going to wake up and realize that you're getting played by all of this shit? Mm-hmm. It's all theater.
Yeah. Yeah, and Vince, I want to check in with you on something too. Like, with your experience, Boy-Star agent, you guys got to do some really, really heavy, cool shit. What was your experience like dealing with the cartel down there? Because so there's this, and I bring that up to say there was this Daily Mail article that came out. Todd Bensman, he just did an eyewitness report about the battle between the Mexican cartel and border agents down there.
Where was that at?
And this is insane. Yeah. So, the article reads, in the early dawn's orange glow, a Texas Rangers commander briefs a heavily armed invasion force. They're preparing to seize a remote 170-acre Mexican cartel-controlled island in the middle of the Rio Grande River, overlooked by sniper nests and potentially booby-trapped. So bringing this up right by Fronton, Texas.
Yeah.
Apparently there's this like 170-acre island that is a stronghold for Mexican cartel. They've found weapons cache. They got, little boulders where they're digging holes under and hiding magazine ammunition, all along that.
Interesting. Well, I'll say this. It's obviously all the trafficking that's happening in the borders is controlled by some cartel or another, right?
Yeah.
Like there's someone in charge of every area has a specific cartel that kind of runs that lane. And everything you see from human trafficking to drug smuggling is controlled by someone. I don't know much about this story at all, but it's not uncommon. Every apprehension you make, every kind of like all the intel that we gather and we start doing specific hits on targeted houses is because, we know there's some informant or someone who's flipped for the DA or whatnot and giving us the information to go ahead and apprehend them. And it's all connected to some kind of cartel. And I think that's just the facts of it. I think it's totally ingrained into our government somewhere, in some way, shape, or form, because how much money is involved in smuggling. And so it's a
big point.
Oh, it's a very, very shady, scary kind of environment. And that's what you do down the border. If you're apprehending dope bundles, it is attached to some kind of cartel.
Well, it's also attached to our own 3-letter agencies. Let's be real. Fucking, you don't have to say anything. But
No comment.
The CIA pretty much put fucking Pablo Escobar in business and then decided he was a problem. They got rid of him. And we can go on and on and on about a bunch of shit like that. So I would build a bigger wall. So I'm going to start this thing. If I were president after every segment, okay? If it were me, we would have a wall that was at least 4 times that high and 10 times that thick with our best automatic heat sensing, people annihilating, people vaporizing miniguns that were automatically on the top of the wall. And then I would give all of the border agents, they could maintain it. That way we can maintain that whole structure with the little manpower that we have. It would work. All right. That's what I think. Yeah. That's what I'd be doing. Vote for me. I'm all for immigrants. I'm all for people coming here. I love cultures. I think it's great. I love the Bosnian culture. I love the Italian culture. I love, the Asian culture. I love the black culture. I love the white culture. I love all the cultures. I think they all have things to offer. And I think that's what makes America amazing. Yeah. I'm all for it. But like when we're bringing people here by the millions that do not want to partake in that culture and want to bring their culture here, that's a problem for us because that dilutes the entire soul of America in a very real way.
Yeah.
So, ask you guys self, do you feel more American or less American now than you did 5, 10, 15 years ago? Yeah. And give an honest answer.
It's real, man. Well, guys, let's get into our third and final headline of the show. Headline number 3. Headline number 3 reads, Women's Tech Conference overrun by men claiming to be non-binary draws amused reaction. I love this. Have you seen this?
No, I have not.
Oh, man. Listen, these people are wild. But this is like a backfire, right? Like, it is what it is. So a tech conference for women and non-binary workers in the field last week was overrun by men, where an organizer said some unwelcome guests falsely claimed to be, quote, non-binary to make it in. And some onlookers watched the ensuing outcry unfold with amusement and a lack of sympathy. Quote, you have to admit it's pretty funny watching a dude yelling about dudes being dudes. Said outnumbered guest Ben Ferguson on Wednesday. Indeed, Cullen White, chief impact officer of the group that organized the seminar, Anita B., chastised attendees for having lied about their gender.
Who are they to judge someone's gender?
Yeah, how do they assume that they were not
What is that
non-binary in the non-binary binary system?
What? how? I mean, who are they to assume someone's gender?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, maybe they're gender fluid, and today they felt like they
just
were
for the
non-binary.
seminar, they felt like switching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
it's weird.
It's wild.
It's weird how they don't want us to judge them, but they're so quick to judge.
Yeah, so it continues. It says, quote, yesterday it became clear that there are a far greater number of cisgender men than we anticipated. Simply put, some of you lied about your gender when you registered, White said at the conference. Outnumbered co-host
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Before you go, well, if they're lying, then what are you doing?
Yeah, right. What makes them?
What
lying?
makes you the judge, jury, and executioner on gender identity?
Right.
If they're lying and they're saying that they are something that they are not, how do you know that they actually aren't that?
Yeah. What makes the person like?
What makes them
What makes them
non-binary?
non-binary?
Like, bro, the conversation, like this whole situation is so fucking good.
It's great.
Like, this is what needs to happen.
More of it.
Yes.
You want to go do it?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And Anisha.
Yes. No. Andy with an I.
With an eye. Yes, that's great. That's great. So it continues, says, outnumbered co-host Emily Campagno said she didn't feel any sympathy for anyone at the conference who complained about men gaming the system. Quote, what do you expect? She asked. Of course you're going to have the whole camel eventually get into the tent because you have been totally fine with his nose going in there. So here's a clip from the seminar. There's a shit ton of dicks in there.
This is amazing.
What is this event?
Why is everybody from India?
Yeah, I think it was a tech event. I'm not
pretty sure.
I'm being for
They
real.
just must have more balls than actual Americans, bro.
Yeah, I think it was some sort of tech event. So there's actually a tweet here from Avni Barman. She tweeted, quote, shocking to see how many men showed up to a women in tech career conference claiming non-binary on their GHC registration status, shoving, bullying, and bribing the women there. Yet I still get comments all the time, quote, I thought we solved the women in tech issue a long time ago. Sad to see how low people are willing to go in a tough job market. What do you think we should do? And then she tweeted this picture. I guess she got a message from another woman that was at the conference saying, the messages read, it's crazy this year. I got shoved by a guy into a door frame. A guy sold his one-on-one spot to this girl for $1,000. I was talking to a recruiter at HPE. He whipped around me and started asking questions because he didn't want to wait in line. Yeah, I mean, listen.
Where do we start here? I mean, let's be real. Okay? Like, this is feminist. This is a result of feminism.
That's what you wanted.
Okay? This is what the fuck you guys wanted. All right? You wanted to villainize men for every single thing that they've ever done and every single place they've ever existed in society. And we have every time the men said, hey, we want an only man event, we were called misogynists and fucking all these other names, right? So you do a women only event and people show up.
And women show up.
And there you go. And you get mad about it. Like, this is absurd shit, bro.
Yeah.
Men are men. Women are women. It is what it is. It's okay to have men-only events. It's okay to have women-only events. Whoever's better in the workforce, you get the job. That's how it should be. If you're a woman and you happen to have a vagina because you're a woman and you happen to be more skilled than the dude who has a penis,
No matter how small.
yes, you can get paid more than that person and have that job. Like this shit has gone so far overboard. This is what we're resulted with. And this is what's going to bring it back to reality.
That's the hopes, man.
Yeah,
That's the
I'm
hopes.
curious how many of these dudes just use the non-binary thing to try and get ahead in the career field, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this,
Well,
they're like anyone can
yeah,
do it,
but
so
But
why
they're
not?
forced to have to, right?
Dude,
Because
it's listen, it's bigger than that, though.
Yeah.
Because for years and years and years, and nobody wants to admit this, but I will say it, is that men who have been skilled at a position, who have been higher skilled than women, have not gotten jobs because they're trying to do diversity and inclusion inside these companies. Okay. And so there's these differing points of view. Women can't get the same pay as men. That's been shown through research multiple times to not be true.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we have this situation of hyperfeminism, and we have the situation of men who are, and particularly white men, who have been denied jobs, even if they're the highest skilled applicant, in favor of women or other races, okay, you're going to have people start to cheat the system because they got to fucking eat.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what we're talking about here. This is real shit. And this idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion and giving people jobs because they have a certain skin tone is bullshit. That's un-American. in
Or what's
America,
between their legs,
or whatever, or who you like to fuck, or any of this
or
shit.
how you like to fuck them.
Yeah, bro, it should be meritocracy. Who is the best person for the job? Who could do the job the best? If you happen to be black and you happen to be a female, fucking great, man. Can you do the job? Right? Like, that's what the fuck America's built on. America's not built on giving people shit because they were born a certain way. That's like, I can't control what I was born. Did you get to have a meeting before you came here and choose who the fuck you were? Because I must have missed that motherfucking meeting. Did you get one?
No.
Okay, well, I didn't get. These guys must have all got one. So, like, now it's their fault because they were born a certain way. Okay, it's nobody's fault they're born a certain way. And we're living in a society that punishes people in many different ways for being different than other people. And so we have to have a scale on which we judge people, which is called meritocracy. How skilled are you? If you want to know what meritocracy looks like, look at a football game. Look at a baseball game, okay? Who's on the field? The best motherfuckers in the world, all right? Well, there's no women on the field. Well, no shit, because women can't play fucking NFL football because they'll get fucking killed, okay? For that specific job, those are the best people for the job. And by the way, the NFL is majority black, okay? So what? They're still the best dudes that could do the job.
No, just meritocracy, man. None of that shit matters. Be the best. If you ain't the best, stop fucking bitching and get better.
Dude, that's it, man. Like, that's the whole entire game of everything. It's natural order, dude. And by the way, that's important to society. Like, there's jobs that are important to society that depend on strong men to do.
Yeah,
I
think too many people are afraid of competitive nature, and I think that's so valuable to have. That's why I raise my kids in sports, because in life you fucking compete. The best wins. Yeah. And that's everything in life, you know what I'm saying? But when you start doing the thing like, well, it's not the best, it's just the person that fits the bill, then you start having, sub-average people doing jobs that are supposed to be like high experts, right? And then you start having
it's
issues.
a big problem in certain scenarios,
it's
okay?
a
Like,
problem.
I understand the good. Listen, I could say this. I understand why people think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that. I do. I really do. I understand why people think, okay, well, we need to work to get some of these people who may have lagged behind in other places into these fields. I understand that. And I actually, there's nobility in that thought. I think that's a good thought. But when we're talking about that versus reality,
right,
there's just certain jobs that have to be handled by people of certain skill sets.
Right.
And like, if we're going to, apply diversity, equity, and inclusion to, let's say, being an airline pilot, that's probably not really good for everybody flying on the plane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Brain surgery. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
right.
Like, you got to have open heart surgery. Do
Yeah,
you really give a
I don't want the guy that had a D.
That's right.
I want the A+ guy.
Yeah,
Let's
man,
go.
you know what? I was reading the reviews, and, this surgeon, he got straight A's and was the top of his class,
But this guy's
this other guy,
yeah, he's non-binary.
Non-binary.
3 pronouns.
3 pronouns.
He's probably the guy.
You know what?
I mean, the ma'am. I'm sorry.
You want to expose the hypocrisy of gender ideology? Ask someone who they'd like to have operate on their fucking brain. Would you like someone who was the best? Would you like someone who scored the best and who had the best track record? Or would you like the person who has pronouns and graduated 75th out of 100 to operate on your brain? Which would you rather have? And anybody who says the person who is skilled is telling the truth, and anybody who says otherwise is a hypocrite. They're lying. Or they deserve it, and it's natural selection.
Let them operate.
Well, the thing is, like, I want the best, and even if that best has 3 fucking pronouns, are you the best? Well, then you get
there
the
you
job.
go. That's the other side of the coin.
The problem is, it's not always the case.
Well, it's not. You know why that's not happening? Because motherfuckers are so worried about their fucking gender identity, they can't put in the work to actually become skilled at what they do.
That's why they rely on the gender identity.
Yes.
So they don't have to rely on
Like, if y'all didn't worry about this shit, like who you have sex with or what you think you are, and actually worried about gaining some real skills, you wouldn't have to hack a conference to get an opportunity, right? Like, dude, these things... This is obvious stuff, and it's like almost painful to the societies like this now. Like, it's just like...
Imagine raising teenagers, dude, and having to explain this shit to them, dog.
Dude, why do you think I come in here, man?
Tough,
why do you think I do this? I don't come in here because it's fucking fun, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you've known me for a long time. My life is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, if what you guys are going to see, I'm posting day in the life starting on Sunday. You're going to see some of my life. It's awesome. But when you look at it, understand that I'm sacrificing a lot of that cool shit that I could be doing to come on here and do this show so that your kids don't grow up in a fucking shithole.
Yeah.
And they actually grow up with having the opportunities that we had. Did we make the most of our opportunities? I don't know. I tried pretty hard. You've tried pretty hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They deserve that opportunity, and that opportunity has to be preserved by people like us.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just, you know, militarily. Like, people have come up with this idea that preserving our country only applies when we go over to Iraq, right? Or when we go to Afghanistan. Preserving the country actually comes from within, and it comes with how we live on an every single day basis. Are we living the life of an actual American citizen, or are we not? Are we living a free, autonomous life and deciding that we are free humans? Are we making ourselves healthy? Are we making ourselves intelligent? Are we making the best of our opportunities? Or are we taking it for granted and letting it disappear?
Right.
Because if it's not lived, if the American dream is not actually lived, then it's going to cease to exist for the next generation.
Right.
And that's why I come in here every single day and fucking say this shit. Like, bro, it's not fun to go on the internet and say my opinions about all this stuff and have half the internet legitimately every single day. Like, dude, I could make the most beautiful, awesome, motivational saying and it goes mega viral. And I have for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And you'll have comments in there, I love this, but that guy's a piece of shit. Like, you know, it's like, man, like, I'm a piece of shit. Why? Because I'm doing what I believe to be right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm standing for all of us. Like, dude, if we don't live the American dream, it's not going to exist. And you guys out here who are thinking like, well, I can't do anything because I'm just a poor little me. That's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
They want you to think you're powerless. They want you to think nothing that you do matters. And if they want you to think that's so bad, what do you think the truth actually is? The truth is actually that it's the thing they're most afraid of. That's why they convince you that you're irrelevant. They know that you're relevant. If you started to believe that you're relevant, things would change really fucking fast.
It's real shit, man. Guys, that was our third and final headline. You remember, jump down in the comments. Let us know what you guys are thinking using hashtag it's ma'am.
Ma'am!
And let us know what you guys think.
Bro, I want to do that.
Do what? You gonna do that? I'm down.
I'm gender fluid, bro. Sometimes I feel a little bit feminine. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah. Well, like how
maybe it's always been in me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Andy with an eye.
That's right. I'm feeling it coming out, man. I'm starting to like evolve. I can feel it happening. You know? Apparently I can get a better job too.
Bro, and nobody would say shit because of like how intimidating you look in person. Like they wouldn't even fuck. Okay, all right, Andy, come this way.
Bro, I had this dude message me on the internet yesterday who knows me in real life. And he's like, bro, these motherfuckers have no idea how big of a human being you are in real life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks.
Like,
what the
compliment,
fuck?
bro?
Well, they wouldn't say it to your fucking face.
No, they
That's
fucking
why.
bro, that's
Yeah.
because the internet, but dude, the internet would say 99% of the shit that's said on the internet would not be said in person.
No, dude. When we were younger, you say some shit, you get smacked. Now you don't get smacked. So it's
Yeah.
like they had the balls to say whatever.
Guys our age will smack each other.
Yeah.
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 Like if you and I could be sitting at my house smoking a cigar and I could be like, hey, fuck you. It'd be fuck you. And then we could fight. And then 10 minutes later, we'd be like, bro, that was stupid. You know, like that's the generation that we grew up in.
Yeah.
Like my best friends that I'm like the best fucking friends with in the world are literally the human beings that I have fought the most physically in my entire life. How fucked up is that?
Yeah.
Like I need some fucking therapy, bro. My best friend is my brother and my business partner, and we've gotten in fucking probably 2,000 fist fights.
That's Fight Club shit, man.
Yeah, but like, bro, that's how you bond, man. That was like the real
That's where
shit.
respect is built.
This whole pussy ass shit of guns and knives and thinking you're hard and shooting people out in the street, bro. Y'all a bunch of bitches, like for real. Real people, real men go out and fucking box it out and then drink a beer afterwards. That's real man shit. Okay, because respect is built that way. You know what? I better not say that to Vincent next time. Like I'll get fucking. I have to fight. I don't want to.
He doesn't like.
I don't want to fight a 250-pound gorilla, bro. I'd rather not. I'm probably gonna hold my tongue.
We should start hosting boxing here.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. No, I have this amazing idea for this business concept that I can't say on the air because it's so fucking good, but it solves this problem. But But real talk, dude.
Yeah.
Like, think of your best friendships that you've had over your life. These are people at some point in time you've like really got into it with.
Or they fought with you in a battle.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? Or they
Yeah.
fought when you know they're down to fucking throw down. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
dude. And it's like it's sad that like a lot of people are bitching about the young men in society and what's wrong with them. I think a lot of what's wrong with them is that they're never able to participate in male rites of passages such as a fist fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a real thing anymore.
They never
Like,
got
that's
to
why-
exercise violence, so the violence went away.
yeah, like,
That's
dude,
why I raised wrestlers.
It's real
Yeah.
shit,
The closest thing you can get without getting in trouble of engagement, of one-on-one engagement, and him feeling the fear.
You
of
learn
that.
a lot.
Yeah, you learn a lot from
Yeah.
wrestling, and it's the one way of doing it legally. Where
and there's nowhere to hide.
right, if my son got in a fight in school right now, he'd be kicked out of that fucking school. He'd
Yeah.
lose his opportunity for
Yeah.
playing sports, and it's a whole different world. For us, you get in a fight, you get sent home, and 2 days later you're back at school. No big
Well,
deal.
bro, in culture anymore, these kids can't fist fight anymore because one kid brings a gun and shoots him because they're getting clout on the internet.
Oh, my son got in a fight, and right away I called the lawyer. I'm like, they're gonna sue me. You know what I mean? Because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this also culture. Is
Yeah,
suing.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? The other side of it. You know what I mean? Like, f- that.
Bro, and if you think about that, like, if you think about that at scale and just think about that lawyer thing, it's closing in our freedoms in many different directions.
Yeah.
Because all of our laws are made by these lawyers. Everything is over litigious. Everything is being sued for. And nobody wants to stop it because the people that can stop it are also lawyers.
They benefit from the actual
Correct.
system.
I know.
So that's a big correction. You know, if I were president,
There we go.
all right, I'd throw these motherfuckers in jail or the wood chipper, and we would ease this up a little bit.
It's real shit, man.
Vote for me. You know what I'd really do?
What?
I'd stop graduating new attorneys. I'd put a stay on it for like 10 years. So you would lessen the amount of attorneys. Okay? Because many would retire. The ones in the middle would grow their careers. They'd have less competition. They would love it because they're like, okay, we don't have to fight with all these young guys.
Yeah.
And it would remove this over litigious nature that we have from too many lawyers. See that? I just figured that out in like 3 seconds. You think I couldn't figure this shit out? You actually voted for me? Vote for me.
So let's dive into this thumbs up, guys. Our thumbs up or dumb as fuck headline reads: Cuba's Iron Man beats himself with a sledgehammer and survives unscathed.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
just
thumbs
off-
up, I guess. That's
Yeah,
dope.
just right off the cuff, man. So let's go over to Havana. On a leafy boulevard in downtown Havana, a man is beating himself with a sledgehammer on his wrist, elbows, and forearms, drawing a crowd of passerbyers who gather to film the spectacle with their cell phones. What shocks the crowd is not the apparent self-mutilation, but rather the fact that he appears to come away unscathed. Cuban Iron Man Lino Thomason said he once aspired to be the next Mike Tyson, training to become a professional boxer by subjecting himself to millions of blows with the hammer and eventually moving from the Caribbean island to fight in Mexico City. Quote, I had 27 matches won by knockout, but I retired because in the last of them, I fractured the skull of my opponent and he died instantly. The stocky Thomason recalled in an interview with Reuters in Havana. Quote, I gave away all the money I made in my fights to his family, he said, estimating the sum to be over $100,000, a huge amount of money for most residents of Cuba. Quote, I vowed never to fight again.
Damn.
Thomason has since written off fame and fortune and makes a far more modest living on the streets of Havana and nearby beach communities, collecting tips from impromptu shows. On a recent sultry summer morning, the squat, lean 32-year-old chewed on a half-smoked cigar and wowed a crowd by doing push-ups on his bent wrist with a full-grown man on his back, and then returned to beating himself with his sledgehammer, studiously pounding every joint in his arm on the wince of onlookers. Here's the video.
He is jacked.
He's yoked.
Oh,
Shit.
Wow. Oh.
Man, I bet that dude did whoop some people's
Yeah,
asses.
bro. Yeah, I believe him.
I mean, I'd imagine a lot of that's just like callus buildup, right?
It's
Like,
got, yeah, but.
Well,
it's
I mean, when you're hitting a hammer like out here in the open, it's not like it's like here.
yeah.
It's a different thing.
There's
But
a little street magic to that. Street
there
trick,
is
yeah.
for sure. But I will say, it doesn't look like it would not hurt at all.
No, that dude looks tough as f. Look at that big knuckle, bro. That's a brass knuckle on
his
its own.
hands are
Bro,
massive.
Bro, you ever notice like why is it that all the guys, like the fighters and stuff, have huge hands like that? Is that like a thing that happens because they fight?
I think it's because they fight.
Or is that a thing that happens, or is that what makes them a good fighter?
I think that, yeah, I don't know. It's like the chicken or the egg, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bro, everybody I know, like
lot of
personally,
fighters with big
MMA
hands.
guys, like they're fucking like they're different.
Yeah.
Like they're different dudes. Like you shake their hand, I'm a big fucking dude.
Yeah.
You shake like I shook Tito Ortiz's hand, bro.
Yeah.
He has
He was
massive
here.
hands.
So, dude, the whole motherfucking
He's
unit
massive.
is like he's just a different size human being. Like what?
You said unit.
I meant the whole unit.
Oh, the whole unit.
Not the unit.
No, not the unit. The
That's a
whole
different
unit.
thing.
unit.
It's a
His
different
unit.
thing.
Right.
I wouldn't
Him
know.
as a unit.
I wouldn't know. I might find out though now that I'm non-binary, you know. So,
Andy
but
with
I'm
an
just,
eye.
yeah, I'm just saying, bro. You shake this motherfucker's hand, and you like instantly know, like, okay, I would not want to get punched with that hand,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Heavy
And so, like,
hands.
is that a thing? Like, let us know in the comments. I don't know. Do the hands get big after they start fighting, or do they? Is that what makes them a good fighter?
It's a good question.
Look at that fucking dude's hands.
Yeah, I like his style too. That one, strap on the
On the
fucking
overalls,
yeah,
yeah.
bro. That's old school crisscross style,
Bro, that is, you know, we know. People don't even know what that
They
is.
don't get that.
That shit's been coming back too. I've been seeing dudes doing that, thinking they invented that shit, and it's like, no, that dude. When you and I were like 11,
That's it.
that was the shit, bro. We ran around like that,
Like that.
yeah,
like
bro.
that.
Yeah, bro.
Overalls, one strap,
Yes.
unstrapped.
That
Like,
was
dude,
it.
that was real shit.
That was the style.
We fucking
Hmm.
did that.
I think we started that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Clearly, we started it. Look where it is.
Made
It's
it
in
all the way to Cuba.
Yeah. He's got a sponsor and everything. This
Yeah,
guy.
Red Bull sponsored him.
Yeah.
Dope.
And Red Bull, that's a pretty serious sponsor. They got him a car.
Yeah, that's good.
This guy's doing all right.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like some copyright issues there. I don't know. if
Bro, he
it's
looks like the Jamaican Mr. Clean.
Yeah, he looks.
I don't know what, like, or the Cuban Mr. Clean or whatever. Like,
I'd love to see him
like he
fight.
looks like a character. Like
Bro,
we
he's yoked.
no, I'm just saying, like, look at his pose. Like, look at the whole thing. Like he looks like a, I don't know. Like there's some marketing there.
Yeah, he's.
There's something there.
I'm gonna go find him on Instagram.
Yeah, bro.
I am. I want to check him out.
Yeah, this guy. There's something here, bro.
Yeah.
Mm.
Look at that cigar and
We're
everything.
gonna make him a movie star.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This guy's got
We're
something.
gonna make him a movie star.
Well, what are we giving this guy?
I'm
Just
giving him thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs
Absolutely.
up.
He's awesome, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is, guys. Guys, Andy, Vince. That's all I got.
All right,
Well, thank you.
Vince, thanks for being on the show, bro. Where can people find your book?
You can pre-order it right now anywhere. It's the same. Amazon,
Okay.
Barnes and Noble. You can get it on audiobook. It's my voice. I actually read it. So yeah, it's anywhere you buy books, you can snag it.
Cool. So, guys, support our buddy Vincent here. He's a good dude. I've been friends with him for a long time. Well, that's debatable. We could argue over that, right? No, I'm just kidding. He's one of the best dudes I know. Real talk, genuine, great human being. Support him. Go check out his book. Find out what's really going on at the border. Forward's written by Jocko Willink, who you guys all, love and know and respect. So go check it out. Bro, I appreciate you coming in and being on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks
It's
for
really
being
good to see you.
You too.
Yeah. Are you in town?
No, I'm gonna catch my flight right now. I hope I make it.
All right. Well, we'll hang out another time. It was
Absolutely.
great
No,
to
I'm
fu-
gonna come back up.
All
I
right.
enjoyed working out. So
Yeah, we
it's
got to
cool.
get some scars too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.
All right, guys. That's the show. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.